Hello. So my friend Nathan made a video going through his movie collection. I felt inspired, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, I'm not really gonna edit this video much. Also, it's been a while since I've made like a proper video for YouTube. Yeah, I'm not really gonna edit this unless there's something I need to cut out, I guess. But also, I'm kind of tired. Didn't have a good sleep last night, and a little tired after work. But gonna talk about some movies. Yeah. Okay, kind of a funny one to start with: The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's been years since I've seen this. I don't even really know why I bought this. I think I just kind of bought this as a joke. I don't know when I'm gonna consciously decide to watch this, but it's here. I got Barry Lyndon, the Criterion edition. I bought this on a trip to Toronto, and I saw this movie like a few years ago in theaters. There was a screening of this, and I really liked it. So, but it's been a little. I haven't seen it since then. So I'm excited to watch it again at some point. Basquiat. Haven't watched this yet. Don't know much about it. Just, that's about Basquiat. So I'm excited to watch it. Blue Velvet. Now, anyone who knows me in real life knows that I'm obsessed with David Lynch. David Lynch is my favorite filmmaker of all time. And I think for anyone wanting to get into Lynch's work, I think Blue Velvet is the perfect representation of sort of what Lynch was about. I think the themes that he explores in his work are best represented are most clearly represented in this movie. Yeah. The first time I saw this, I think it just sort of like disturbed me. But like on a second viewing, I grew to love it more, and see that it's meant to disturb you like that and make you uncomfortable. Yeah. And so yeah, I really like it now. Begonia. I haven't watched this yet. I've actually only seen one Yorgos Lanthimos film, and that is Poor Things, which I didn't like. But there were things I liked about Poor Things. So I don't want to fully dismiss Yorgos Lanthimos yet. I think he could be a filmmaker that I really like. So I'm excited to watch this one. By the way, don't make fun of me for any that I haven't seen yet. Casablanca, it's a classic noir. Trying to think of what really to say about this. I don't know, I don't think I liked it as much as like a bunch of other people do, but I think it was still really good. I should rewatch it sometime. Oh, wrong side. Do the Right Thing. This is one that I'd been wanting to watch, been meaning to watch for years, but just never got around to for some reason. But I watched it not too long ago, and I always had a feeling I was gonna love it, and I did. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Great. Uh, Depiction of like um, racial tensions in New York in I guess the late 80s. Yeah, it's from 89. And a lot of this is still very relevant today. I think it's a very colorful looking movie. I love the bright colors. Yeah, but there's some scenes in it that are heavy. They're hard to watch. If you've seen it, of course, the ending, you know what I'm talking about. Akira Kurosawa's Dreams. I think this is an underrated Kurosawa film. This isn't usually talked about as like one of his best, but it's one of my personal favorites. Kurosawa is one of my favorite filmmakers, probably second right behind David Lynch. And one of the reasons why I like David Lynch is how dreamlike his movies can be. So when I heard that there was a Kurosawa film that was about his dreams, I knew that would be something I would love. And I was right. Like I said, I think this is an underrated film of his. Like, it may not be technically his best film, but it's one of my personal favorites of his. I really like it. Election. I haven't watched this yet, but I've only seen one movie by Alexander Payne, and that is The Holdovers, and I really loved The Holdovers, so I'm excited to check this one out. This one's calling to me to watch next. I'm probably gonna watch this one soon. We got another David Lynch here, Eraserhead. I love Eraserhead. I've seen it multiple times, and this was the first David Lynch film I saw it like in full. Before this I had seen part of Inland Empire, which, if you know anything about that movie, that's probably the worst place to start with. If you're trying to get into Lynch. Not that it's a bad movie, but that's just sort of the worst place to start. I saw I think 40 minutes of Inland Empire, and when I was younger, and it was unlike anything I had ever seen, and I was like, what is this? It seriously freaked me out when I was younger, but I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. Okay, I haven't actually talked about Eraserhead yet. I just went on a tangent about Inland Empire. I think Eraserhead is such a a great I think it really gets you in the mind of the main character, really, and what he's sort of going through. And really it just boils down to the fears of becoming a parent, and that's all it really is. But people think of it as this messed up movie, but at the end of the day, it's just about the fears of becoming a parent. Yeah. And the first time I saw this, I just sort of like appreciated it. I was like, that's strange, but I can see, like, I kind of like it, I guess. But over over time, I've grown to love it more and more, and now it's one of my favorite movies. And my friends and I always like to joke about the baby from this movie. There's like a mutated baby in this movie, and we always just joke about how it's just a cute little baby. Actually, at the end of my shelf here, I have a card that one of my wonderful friends, Annabella, made for me. Yippee! Card for my birthday in the shape of the Eraserhead baby. How wonderful is that? Anyway, this is one of my favorite things in my collection because it comes with so many wonderful special features and everything in this edition. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Ooh, where? What side of... There we go. I haven't actually watched this yet. I've been meaning to for quite a while. Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Okay, I'm gonna grab 3 at a time here because it's the Evil Dead trilogy. I only just watched these like last October. Sorry, I need to burp. I only watched these for the first time last October, and I'm surprised that was for the first time. I was like, how have I not seen these before? Like, because I grew up with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, and those were really important movies to me. And just to think, like, how have I never gone back and watched like his other movies and watched his Evil Dead movies? So I think each of these is special in its own right, and each is unique on its own. But my personal favorite is Evil Dead 2. I think it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm actually currently making my own like custom box to put these in, to like make my own sort of box set. I'm making a box that has like that to make it look like the Necronomicon from the movies. I think that's gonna look really cool. Also, another funny story is that when I bought these, I went to a video store to buy some movies for a friend of mine, my friend Tyler. I have 2 friends named Tyler. So I know both Tylers are gonna mention being like, oh, that's me, or like, what are you talking about? That's not me. You know which one I'm talking about, to the 2 of you. Yeah, I was like, I'm here to buy movies for him, but this one rule: if I find any of the Evil Dead movies, I will buy those for myself. And I found all 3 of them right after each other. So I was like, it's a sign. I have to buy them. And I actually found the exact edition of Evil Dead 2 that I was looking for. I looked on like a bunch of forums and websites and stuff to see what was like the best editions of these movies. I didn't necessarily get the best editions of the other 2, but this is the one that I wanted for Evil Dead 2. But I'm very happy with having all 3 of these. 500 Days of Summer. of course, lots of people have their opinions about who was in the right and who was in the wrong in this movie. I'm just saying, if you think Summer was in the wrong, that might be a red flag. Just saying. I think they're both somewhat in the wrong, but I'd say why do I forget the main character's name? Oh my god. I haven't seen this in a little bit. The Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. What's his name? Why do I forget? Anyway, yeah, I think he's mostly in the wrong in the movie. Yeah. Full Metal Jacket. I honestly always forget that I even have this. I haven't watched it yet. The case is broken. I need to replace the case. But, yeah, I need to watch that. Okay, there's two more here. They're kind of go together. Death Proof and Planet Terror. I have no idea when I'm gonna watch these. Like, I'm not even really a fan of Quentin Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez. Like, but like every time I see a Tarantino movie, like my general opinion is like, yeah, that was fun, I guess. But it doesn't like blow me away or anything. But when I first started collecting movies, which I want to say it was like a year ago, maybe around that time, maybe a year, maybe a little over a year. I have a lot already. I've gotten addicted to buying these. Anyway, these two were some that my dad had that he gave to me when I first started collecting. So I'll get around to them at some point. I don't see it happening soon. I don't have much interest in those. This next one, I haven't, I don't know anything about it. Hands Over the City. I got this as a gift, and I know basically nothing about it. Just, I think from the back it looks like it's about, scheming land developer, in like the city of Naples, Italy, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'll watch it at some point. Haven't gotten around to it yet. No idea what to expect, because I haven't heard anything about it. Don't know anything about it. The Holdovers. I saw this in theaters when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. It's such a cozy, sort of bittersweet, kind of melancholic, and also, did I say cozy already? Cozy, sort of feel good Christmas movie, and it's I feel like it's become a Christmas classic for me. I've started to watch it every year now. So, I mean, my other family members don't like it as much as I do, but it's one that I really love. So, yeah, what I think is interesting and like really cool about this is that it takes place in the 70s, but it really makes it feel like a film from the 70s. Like, there's some really great, like, and it was shot digitally too, but there's some really convincing, like, great film emulation on this. And it's and it uses a lot of film techniques that were popular in the 70s, which I think is super cool. Yeah. Okay, now this is a really fun one. Hundreds of Beavers. This movie is a ton of fun, absolutely hilarious. It's quickly become one of my favorite comedies. It's whenever people ask for movie recommendations, this is what I tell them. Watch Hundreds of Beavers. You'll have an amazing time. Trust me. My birthday party last year, I made all of my friends watch this, and even like my friends who aren't into movies and like don't watch any movies at all still really got a kick out of this. So genuinely go into this knowing as little as you possibly can. It's so much fun. And I think it's a great look at what you can do with like a really low budget, because this is really scrappy and like low budget. It just shows like what you can do nowadays with so little money and still making something genuinely amazing and entertaining. And yeah. In the Mood for Love. I've seen this twice, but I haven't opened this specific copy of it yet. You can see there's still the plastic wrap on it. But yeah, this is a beautiful film, I think. I don't know, what do I say? Say about it. It's shot beautifully. Wonderful colors on it, I think. Wonderful use of color in the movie. I feel like it does so much with like just what you're able to feel through the movie, not necessarily with any dialogue or explanation really of that. I feel like you can feel the emotion of this movie just through what's shown, I guess. Yeah, In the Mood for Love. This is a beautiful movie. It's such a beautiful day. There aren't many movies that make me cry. Not that I try and like hold back my tears or anything, like, you know, I'm not ashamed of being showing my emotions for anything, for like a movie or anything. You know, I wouldn't mind if I would cry more for movies. I don't know, I don't outwardly express my emotions when watching a movie that much, but this one is one that genuinely makes me cry every time I watch it. It's the first time I saw it, the ending moved me so much, and there's a scene in this movie that I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene in this movie that genuinely I think is like a thing that I could like look to sort of live my life by, like a certain phrase that I have considered getting a tattoo of, maybe. I don't know, I'm not really that interested in tattoos, but maybe. Who knows, I'll see, maybe later in my life. But, yeah, it's sad, it's very darkly comedic, it's, very depressing, and also funny, and it's only an hour long, but I feel like it has so much to say about life and memory and death and yeah, it's very unique. I mean, I'd say it's not necessarily for everyone, but I think everyone should watch it at least once in their life, at least to give it a chance. Like I showed this to after I saw it for the first time. After that, I showed it to my parents and my grandparents. Not really sure what they would think of it. I knew my grandpa would love it because him and I have a similar sense of humor, and I knew we'd find some of the humor in this. Both find the humor in this funny. But they all seemed to be able to take something different away from it, which I think is really cool. And afterwards, we had some great conversations about like life, memory, death, and sort of what that means to us, and all those sort of things. And which I think was really cool. I think it's really cool when you show a movie to someone and then you can have conversations like that afterwards. And I remember when the next few days after that, my grandma kept saying, like, that was such a great movie, just saying that over and over, like, that was really good. So, yeah, it's such a beautiful day. And also, another great look at what you can do just as, like, one person. This whole movie was, like, made by essentially one person. Technically, like, 3 people, but, like, those other 2 people are just, like, someone who has one line of dialogue in the whole movie, and the editor of the movie. That's it. Everything else was done by Don Hertzfeldt. So, yeah. Kill Bill, both Volume 1 and 2. I haven't seen Kill Bill, and like I was saying before, I'm not really a huge Tarantino fan. I think he's alright, I guess. He's meh. I don't know. I don't like him as a person, but his movies can be okay sometimes. So I don't really know why I bought this, but it was cheap. Maybe I'll get around to it at some point, but it's not a high priority for me. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is a Wes Anderson movie. I actually haven't watched this one yet, surprisingly. This is another one that when I started collecting, this is one that my dad had and he gave to me. And I do like Wes Anderson's movies quite a bit, so I'm definitely going to watch this at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, I guess. And then right next to it we got another Willem Dafoe movie, The Lighthouse. This is another one that I've been meaning to watch but haven't gotten to yet. I've heard some interesting things about it. Yeah. Then I got the Lord of the Rings trilogy. These are the extended editions, of course. Like a couple of years ago, I actually got to see all 3 extended editions in theaters, which was super cool. And that was actually the first time that I saw the movies. Just the other ones that I was surprised it took me so long to get around to watching. Like, I remember one of my teachers was like, "You haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but you're but you're a filmmaker. You like. So, I was really glad that the first time I got to see these was the extended editions in theaters. That was a really cool experience. So then, yeah, I have these to rewatch them whenever I feel like doing that. Oh, and I can't pick a favorite from the three. I can't decide. Another David Lynch movie. Who would have thought? It's like I'm a fan or something. So this is Lost Highway. Yeah, I bought this one on a trip to Toronto. And I've only seen this one once, but I'd like to see it again. It was very interesting. It's, I mean, it's hard to rank Lynch's movies for me, but this one sort of flips between like third and fourth for me, I'd say. Really good. Really good. Yeah, I think it's a... what do I even say about it? It's such a... like a... It's kind of terrifying. And, oh, something I forgot to say. Sorry, going back to Blue Velvet here. There's a character, I just wanted to say there's a character in Blue Velvet that is probably like the most terrifying character I've ever seen in a movie. I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah. Sorry, I just forgot to mention that. Anyway, yeah, this is, I genuinely don't even know what else to say about the Lost Highway. Maybe after I see it a second time, I'll be able to sort of say more about it, I guess. But I don't think I mentioned this before, but my dad actually originally sort of introduced me to David Lynch, which I think is pretty cool. He was a fan of, he's a fan of David Lynch, and just like, well before I ever saw any of his movies, I just heard like my dad talking about them, and it was very intriguing to me. Yeah. This is actually one that he doesn't like, which I find interesting. I like this one quite a bit, but yeah. Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. I haven't watched this yet, but this is by Jacques Tati. I've been meaning to check out some Tati movies, because I've heard that his character Monsieur Hulot was a huge inspiration for Mr. Bean, and Mr. Bean was I was really obsessed with Mr. Bean when I was younger. I grew up with Mr. Bean. He was a huge part of my childhood, so I think it'll be really cool to check out sort of where some of the inspiration for that character came from. Also, apparently, David Lynch said that Jacques Tati was one of his favorite filmmakers, and he specifically recommended this one, Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. So, oh, and what's that? Another David Lynch movie. There's a theme here. Now, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, Mulholland Drive. Well, the camera's kind of moving around a bunch for some reason. It's like I don't know, it's like tracking this or something. Anyway, yeah. And this is actually also my dad's favorite movie. We don't like agree a lot about our taste in movies, but this is something we can agree on. I remember, like, at one point he was like, okay, it's you should see the greatest movie ever made, Mulholland Drive. And I thought, like, oh, we don't always have the same taste, so maybe it's not necessarily going to be the greatest movie ever. And then, eventually I ended up watching it, and I was like, yeah, he's right. It is. It's. I mean, there was something magical about that first time I saw it. Just really unlike any other experience I've had watching a movie. And it's sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there. The what was I even saying? Mulholland Drive. um yeah, I mean, what even really is there to say about it? It's obviously one of Lynch's best. And yeah, this is another DVD that my dad had before I started collecting, and then he gave this to me. I've been thinking about upgrading to the Criterion Blu-ray, because I mean, it's my favorite movie, so of course I gotta have my favorite movie on Blu-ray and on Criterion to have like all the special features and everything. Yeah, I feel like I've been looking for, like, to experience like the feeling that watching this for the first time gave me. I don't know. I mean, some of Lynch's other movies come close, but I don't know. It's a unique feeling. I feel. But anyway, what I was saying about possibly upgrading to a Blu-ray, like, I told myself I probably wouldn't be the type of collector to have multiple copies of the same movie, but maybe I'd make an exception for this, because I would also want to keep this one. Remember that this is both my favorite and my dad's favorite, so that's cool. Napoleon Dynamite. I feel like there's either the people who love this or the people who hate this. I mean, considering it's in my collection, you can probably guess that I love it. I think it's just so quirky and funny. I laugh a lot when I watch this. I mean, it's so quotable. You know? Yeah. That's the first quote that comes to mind. Make yourself a dang quesadilla. Why is that the first quote that comes to mind? It's been a little bit since I've seen it, I think. Yeah, I remember the day um, after my like the day that I graduated high school. That night, I rewatched Napoleon Dynamite just because I think it's one of my favorite high school movies, and I just wanted to watch this to sort of close that chapter of my life. Um, I think it was perfect to watch it um, at that point. I think it was a really great way to end my high school life. How much you bet I can throw a football over them mountains? No Country for Old Men. As you can see, I haven't opened this yet. Still got the plastic wrap on it. And I know I haven't seen this yet. I know. I have to watch it. I can't wait. Now, this is another one that I know what the sticker's kind of covering. There we go. This is one that I know pretty much nothing about. I got this as a gift. Overlord. All I know about it is that it's a World War I movie that incorporates like both like footage filmed for the movie combined with real historical footage. So yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it at some point. And then, coincidentally, another World War I movie right next to it, Paths of Glory. I think this is the second Kubrick movie in here. There was Full Metal Jacket there. Paths of Glory. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but I remember liking it. Yeah. Not too much to say about it since it's been a little bit since I've seen it. But yeah. The Red Shoes. I saw this once and I thought it was okay. I liked it. I think I need to see it again. I need to see it again at some point. But I mean, obviously, Technicolor looks beautiful. The colors is so vibrant in this movie. Yeah, I'll watch it again sometime. I don't really have too much to say about it, I guess. The Royal Tenenbaums. Wes Anderson, of course. I feel like from the Wes Anderson that I've seen, I feel like I'm more of a fan of his like earlier work, like Royal Tenenbaums, Rushmore, like that. I haven't seen enough of his movies. I need to see more of them. But yeah, I really like this one. This one's good. Okay, these two kind of go together. These you can buy these two as a set, like as a box set. But I got these both as gifts, so, and I got them separately, so. But yeah, these are two Akira Kurosawa movies, Yojimbo and Sanjuro. And they're technically sequels to each other, but you don't need to watch either one of them, like one of them before the other one. They work completely on their own. they're just two completely different stories that just feature the same main character, and they're two very different movies too. This main character just on two very different adventures, and I love them both. They both work well in my opinion. I mean, I love Kurosawa's movies. And I feel like both of these are a lot of fun. And the main character in them is played by Toshiro Mifune. Toshiro Mifune. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but he's. I thought especially in Sanjuro, he was like surprisingly really funny. Yeah, surprisingly funny. And Yojimbo is clearly heavily influenced by westerns, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it's a samurai film, but it's clearly influenced by westerns. And the funny thing is that A Fistful of Dollars is like cited as being like the birth of the spaghetti spaghetti western, but it is actually an unauthorized remake of Yojimbo, which I find kind of funny. Like, I watched both movies, and they really are the exact same story, the exact same movie, beat for beat. Personally, I prefer Yojimbo. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I saw it first, and I'm a fan of Kurosawa, but yeah. Anyway, I think these are both really great movies. Yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. What do I say about this? Personally, I don't think this is quite as good as the books, but I mean, if you considering they condensed 6 books down to one movie, they did a really good job of that. I think, like, it's still a really good movie in my opinion. I just think, personally, I think that the story is much more fleshed out in the books, of course. More time, obviously you get more time with that. Like, the 5th book is basically non-existent in this, but yeah, this is also pretty quotable. That's actually hilarious. What was the line about with the vegan police with the milk and eggs? I forget what the exact line was, but yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And then we got another Kurosawa movie, Seven Samurai. Of course, this is the one that like one of the must-haves to have in a film collection. Obviously, I wouldn't have something in my collection if I either obviously in my collection I'm only gonna have things that like I either like or think I am going to like. I wouldn't just get something just for the sake of like, cause like, you know, people say it, you need to. But luckily I do also really love this. I've only seen it once, but I think I'm due for a rewatch. I want to rewatch it pretty soon. It's 3.5 hours long, but from what I remember the first time I watched it, that seemed to just fly by because of how entertaining it is. That may have been because I watched it in 2 parts. I don't typically like to do that, but I was kind of forced to because I started watching it, and then like halfway through, I had to go somewhere. So, and then I finished it when I got back home. But yeah, this is a very influential movie. If you haven't seen it and you watch it, I feel like you'll be able to see its influence on so many different things. Like, I mean, it's very clear that Kurosawa in general influenced a lot of Star Wars. Like, obviously the Jedi are very much like samurai. Not that Kurosawa invented samurai, obviously, but also like he uses a lot of those wipe transitions that were, taken pretty much directly from Kurosawa and put in Star Wars. But yeah, this movie has also been remade several times. Like the story's been retold. Sticking with Star Wars, like I think there was a whole episode of The Mandalorian that was basically a retelling of Seven Samurai. Also, The Magnificent Seven is Seven Samurai, but a Western. And my favorite example is A Bug's Life is Seven Samurai, but with bugs. That kind of blew my mind when someone pointed that out. And I was like, wait a minute, A Bug's Life is Seven Samurai with bugs. Anyway, yeah, Seven Samurai. Sideways. This is an Alexander Payne movie. Same as The Holdovers and Election. I also haven't watched this one yet, but I will at some point. I'll get around to it. This is another one that my dad had that he gave to me when I started collecting, and it's Snatch. I still haven't watched it though. He's told me multiple times that I need to watch this, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Okay, next up is one that's very important to me. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Now, it's hard to look back at my childhood and like choose one movie that I feel like sort of defined like what made me fall in love with movies. But if I had to, I'd probably pick this. I feel like this is probably one of the first movies that I truly fell in love with. And I mean, yeah, I had this DVD when I was younger, and I watched it over and over, probably hundreds of times, I don't know. And that was this exact copy here, and I still have it. And I have no idea if it still plays, because as a little kid, I would like take the discs and take the disc and like shove it under the furniture and stuff, and it's really scratched. So I'd be interested to see if it would still play well enough to actually watch the movie. But anyway, yeah, I remember like, watching the movie over and over. And also, there's a second disc on this one. So, whoa! Oh, the disc fell out. Oh yeah, that is very scratched. I don't know if you can... Oh yeah, that... Anyway, yeah, there's a second disc on here, and I remember like watching all the behind the scenes features and special features like on that second disc, and thought it was so cool. And then along with that, I also have the other two in the trilogy, Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, which I don't really have much to add that I didn't already touch on with the first one. I love Spider-Man 2 just as much as the first one. I think it's really great. And I think Spider-Man 3 is kind of underrated. A lot of people don't like this, but I think it's still, although it's not as great as the first two, I think it's still a really good movie. A really good Spider-Man movie. And this may be a hot take, but I would much rather, like, I would watch this over any of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies any day. Then we got Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is probably one of the best Spider-Man movies ever made, probably. And then I'd say the second one is probably on the same level as well as the first. I mean, crazy animation. I mean, you can't understate like how influential the first movie was on like on the entire medium of animation. Like after this came out, everyone wanted to make something like this. Yeah, so I've been a Spider-Man fan my whole life, so like I love both of these. And wait, oh, what's that? Oh, the light's kind of reflecting off of it. Whatever. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Now, lots of people can, be pretty pretentious about movies, but, and those people probably won't admit this, but I think the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is unironically a masterpiece. Genuinely hilarious, and just I don't know, it's an amazing movie. I saw this with a friend of mine. It was playing at a local like indie theater, the Dave Barber Cinematheque. They were playing this SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and my friend Tyler and I went to see it. I wore like sort of a SpongeBob looking outfit, and he wore like a SpongeBob Hawaiian shirt. It was a lot of fun, and there was like a group of people in front of us who like dressed as pirates, which was amazing. And yeah, we cheered when SpongeBob and Patrick came back to life. Yeah. There Will Be Blood. Actually, I haven't seen this yet. Surprisingly, the only Paul Thomas Anderson movie I've seen is actually One Battle After Another. I actually might get rid of this DVD though, because when I bought it, I didn't check the disc. I forgot to check the disc, and it's kind of scratched. And I don't want my first experience watching this to be on a DVD that might not even play properly. 12 Angry Men. I haven't opened this copy yet, obviously, but I have seen this movie before, and I think it's great. It takes place in one room, basically the whole movie, and it's just 12 men talking, which sounds like the most boring thing ever, but it's riveting. Yeah. I think it's also an excellent commentary on the justice system as well. Looking at like the morality of, like, I guess sending off like someone who's young to die, basically, for the death sentence, even though it looks like they're guilty. That chance that they might not be guilty, and looking at our preconceived notions of someone, from like what background they come from, and how sometimes people, that can cause people, to be unfairly judged within the justice system. Sorry, I'm having trouble sort of putting my thoughts into words, but if you haven't seen it, check it out, 12 Angry Men. Another David Lynch, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. I haven't seen this one yet, but I haven't finished Twin Peaks yet. I'm currently on season 2 of Twin Peaks, and it's I'm absolutely loving it. It's genuinely my favorite show, like, of all time. I mean, it was obviously, like, when it came out, I've heard it was like a groundbreaking show, and I don't even know how to put my thoughts into words about how I feel about this show. It's just absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to watch the movie once I'm finished. I've heard this is David Lynch's darkest film, and I've heard it's quite traumatizing, but and it was initially hated when it first came out, but over the years people have grown to reappreciate it, and now it is one of his best works. So I'm really excited to watch it, like, super excited, but also like slightly scared, but still very, very excited to watch it. And then continuing with Twin Peaks, we have Twin Peaks: The Return, also known as a limited event series. like I said, I'm on season 2 right now, so I haven't gotten to this yet. But I am also very excited for this because I have heard this is also one of David Lynch's best works. So I'm very, very excited to watch this. "2001: A Space Odyssey." Now, I mean, what do I even say about this that hasn't been said already? I mean, it's 2001, right? The first time I saw this, I thought it was like, I liked it, but I thought it was like maybe a little pretentious. But I still appreciated it. But the second time I saw it, I was able to see it in a theater, and that was unlike anything I've like seen, like experienced in a theater before. Yeah, it was incredible. And yeah, 2001. And finally, this is the last thing I have here. The Universal Classic Monsters Collection. So this includes Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, and The Wolfman. Now, I have seen Frankenstein and The Invisible Man, but I actually have not seen the other ones yet, surprisingly. Still need to see Dracula, The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, and The Wolfman. I will probably get around to those next Halloween. Well, that is my movie collection so far. It's continuing to grow. I have a problem. I spend way too much on these. Anyway, thank you for listening. I don't know if there's anything else I should say. If you want to share your thoughts on any of these movies in the comments, go ahead. Or share what you have in your collection. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, bye-bye. I'll see you in whatever video I post next. Bye-bye. Maybe I'll try to post more. It's been a while. Bye-bye.